us from Romania. I'll begin with you, General Sudhakar Jee. Well, once again, as India would have predicted, the Russians and the Indians have once again agreed to reaffirm their relationship, and this was something which was obviously predictable. But the fact of the matter is that there's been a diplomatic victory for India here, sir, as the SCO has recognized that terrorism, specifically terrorism emanating out of Pakistan, is an elephant in the room. And this is a declaration which goes on to foment partnership between countries who have been affected by terrorism in all its avatars. And of course, who better to be a part of this declaration than India? What has been your overall assessment and assertion as far as India's position is concerned? And let's also keep in mind that the SCO becomes extremely popular in international news as well, sir, owing to the American tariffs which India has not bowed down to.
Good afternoon, Vinay. Thank you so much. It's always a delight and pleasure to be a participant and a panelist whenever you are the anchor of any discussion. And particularly when a thing like this SCO 25th in serial is taking place in the backdrop of the tariff tyranny, as also the ongoing Russo-Ukraine war and the violence raging across the Middle East. So, well, in your preamble and the question, you have made many points, but the two important points you have actually expect me to respond is firstly the status in the reverse order. I'm saying status of the SCO, the global status, and secondly the elephant in the room is the Pakistan when you talk about the trans-border terrorism. I hope I have got you right. First and foremost thing, Vinay, is the the status of SCO. Yes, when you talk about SCO, there are a couple of issues we need to join the dots with. First and foremost thing, if India and China are showing any signs of warming up of their relationship, then it is not exclusively in the backdrop of the tariff tyranny of Trump. It is happening as an ongoing process. It is a process of contiguity, which has been going on post Galwan and the little skirmish that we have, fisticuff that we had between the China and India, extended standoff, and thereafter lots of measures and countermeasures which were taken by India to give some kind of messaging to China. And there was a total relationship was in cold storage, and from there on, from a scratch, I would say, it has taken us long times of forbearance and endurance, I would say, negotiation, and a lot of strategic patience have been shown. And at the end of it, on 21st October 2024, to the best of my understanding, was a kind of a departure from hiatus in the protocol of peace and tranquility of 40 years along the extended border. So from 21st October 2024, we have been working on it, and our Prime Minister and Mr. Xi, both of them at Kazan, they had actually indicated that it's about time that we need to look at the new realities of the global order and make amends to our relationship and bury the hatchet of the past and get going ahead. So it's an ongoing process, and the stakeholders involved in both the countries, they have done a good job. Most of the things are not out as far as the boundary issues are concerned, but many issues with regard to the economic paradigm have come for negotiations. Things like the tunnel boring machine, the fertilizer, and the graphite, rare earth graphite that we are talking for the EV, electric vehicle, and all that, on which there are very high restrictions which had been imposed by China. They have been lifted. But above all, it has actually converged and coincided with the event with the SCO 25. So this is the kind of a spectrum of activities which has gone on. And although we are aware of the fact that the tariff tyranny, it commenced, I think, with real gusto and momentum from Donald Trump from 9th of April, if I'm not wrong. And from there on, we have unjustifiably been loaded with a burden of 50%, unjustifiable, irrational, and I would say unconvincing kind of a very punitive kind of a measure, economic measure against India, 50% of tariff, which even the Constitution of America doesn't allow the president without the congressional approval. What allows the president in the Constitution of America is 15%, that too for 150 days. That is within his power. So without the congressional power, which I think has been contested in the court of law, two federal courts, including an appeal court, they have already rejected. And now I believe the Trump's administration is taking the matter up to the Supreme Court. So under this backdrop, when SCO happens, SCO is actually a regional bloc. When you are asking that question willy-nilly, what has happened, the turn of events have actually pushed the profile of SCO from regional bloc status to a global status kind of a platform. So much so, today there may be only 10 members, but there are many in the waiting. And by virtue of the pandemic and consequences of the pandemic have actually given rise to prominent leaders coming physically and being present in the meeting is a very important paradigm that actually pushes its status to the global status. Today, the China and India and Russia being together, apart from other members, actually makes it assume a very high profile and high status. That
absolutely right, sir. Absolutely right, sir. So we have a lot of ground to cover, sir. I will come back to you. We are getting breaking in